Kerala and other parts of southern India are battling with floods again, affecting finance companies in the region. Muthoot Finance's George Alexander Muthoot joins us to talk about that and also the company's strong performance in the quarter gone by. Mr. Muthoot, sir, could you walk us through the quarter gone by? What went into your earnings this time around?
This time, our total assets under management, consolidated, has reached 40,000 crores, and the gold loan assets individually has also reached 35,000 crores. So those are two landmark achievements for Muthoot Finance for this quarter. As far as the profits are concerned, the consolidated profit for this quarter has reached 570 crores, and standalone profit for Muthoot Finance has also reached 530 crores. Both these are again the highest achievement for Muthoot Finance consolidated as well as for the individual standalone Muthoot Finance. As far as the asset quality is concerned, our NPA is always around 2% only, and we are always maintaining that. And again, at the cost of repetition, the NPAs in gold loan companies never result in loan loss. Over the last several decades, we have never had a loan loss because of NPA. It's only we give more time to the customers to repay the loan instead of auctioning the gold. That's a customer-friendly measure which we give to our customers based on their request through the branches. And it has never failed us. It has only helped us to realize better interest on these loans which we do not auction. So this has been the highlight of this year. As far as growth is concerned, we see growth coming. But again, as all the NBFC sector is definitely crying about, it is the release of funds from the banks, which is not really forthcoming. And also, again, the banks have not reduced the interest in line with what the RBI has been reducing in their rates. RBI has been reduced 3 times their rates, but banks have actually increased the rates in the last 1 year. We have almost got a 75 to 100 basis points increase in the cost of bank loans over the last 7 to 10 months. But anyway, with our own funds, we are managing our funding, and we are able to grow also. So last quarter, we have grown by about 1,300 crores in gold loan alone. So that's also remarkable, even in spite of the reduced loan availability for onward lending.
Sir, you mentioned because of the lack of transmission of the rate cuts, cost of funds remained high during the quarter. How much was it for you during the first quarter, and the impact on the margins as well?
See, our net interest margin has been in the range of 12% to 13%. That's still continuing in that level itself. So our cost of funds, it has gone up from, which was a year back, which was 8.5 to 9.5, has now gone from 9% to almost 10%. So that's a big increase we are seeing in the cost of borrowing. But because Muthoot has a net worth of about 10,000 crores, actually our total cost of fund is low. But that, having said that, the incremental cost of borrowing has only gone up.
Sir, I want to talk about the flood situation in 3 states, Kerala, Karnataka and Maharashtra. I understand it must be a tough time for your employees and their families, but what's been your assessment so far?
This time the floods have not been very as severe as what we had last year. This time it was definitely much lesser flooding, and it has happened in only 2 or 3 districts. As far as our employees are concerned, none of them have been affected by this floods, not to our knowledge. And it is only people who stay in maybe the hilly places would have faced some problem. And the water level has also now started receding. In the last 2 days, the rains have little ceased. So probably things are getting better. It is just that the airport got closed for a day and a half. Now it is back to normal.
Sir, how much of your book is currently focused in Karnataka, Kerala and Maharashtra? And I believe the maximum amount of exposure must be in Kerala. In terms of number of branches and AUMs, if you can help us with the data.
Okay, in Kerala, our AUM should be in the range of about 4.5% total AUM. We are not a Kerala-based company anymore. Our AUM is only 4.5% in Kerala. In Karnataka, it should be in the region of about 8 or 9%. But I have not heard of any issues because of these floods in any of these places. I think the floods also, most of our branches are in the big towns, etc., where floods have not been affected. Floods have been affected in far-flung, long areas, especially the agricultural belt, etc., where very few of our customers are there. But for a gold loan, we have never had such issues as yet.
So you gave us a breakup in terms of your AUMs in these states. What about the number of branches in these regions? Have any of your branches been affected and are they all safe at the moment?
No, it's not that the ground floor has been affected. No, sir. No, madam. The city, there has not been this flooding. If you look at whether it is Bombay, Bangalore, Chennai, city, there has not been any flooding. It was only in the faraway places. No, we have never had anything with regard to the floods. Of course, although it is very much in the newspaper, and probably politicians also maybe trumpet a little bit high on that, probably to get more central aid.
So last year when the floods happened, what was the approach that you took in Kerala? Did you cut down in terms of number of branches or lending? And how soon did it take to come back to normalcy?
See, last time we had about 550 branches in Kerala. Because the flood water entered into about 10 branches, 10 of our branches. But because it was gold, nothing got affected. It was only 3-4 days of work stoppage. Once the water receded, we opened the branches. We had to do a little bit of cleaning. And maybe after a week, things were back to normal. So being gold loan, nothing, no property, etc. were lost. I don't think we lost any lives also. But for a week or two, public was affected. Business was affected. Growth in business was affected. But actually, we have come out of that very well.
Sir, other than the gold loan businesses, how much was the growth in the first quarter in the non-gold businesses? And MFI, I believe, should be impacted due to the flood situation. Is that correct?
No, we just had the MFI company, that is Belstar, that is our MFI. It has an AUM of 1,900 crores. We just had their quarterly board meeting also. It is, they have not mentioned anything about, we were also attended that. They have not mentioned anything about the flood situation having affected them. The portfolio for them, mainly the majority of the portfolio is in Tamil Nadu, where instead of flood, it was only lack of water in Chennai, etc. We have not heard anything about that as far as the microfinance is concerned. And as far as the housing finance is concerned also, most of the portfolio is in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, etc. Those western belt is the majority of the portfolio. We have not heard anything. So nothing about the floods in those places also. As far as the home loans also, those are the two big portfolios other than gold loan for us. Each has about 2,000 crores.
Sir, how big is your vehicle finance book at the moment, and was the growth impacted due to the auto slowdown, and now even more so due to the flood situation? Do you anticipate any slowdown in that book?
Our vehicle finance business is restricted to Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. We started almost a year and 2 months back. Where we 16 months is where we have started. So it has got an AUM of about a little less than 400 crores as of date. And it's a very young portfolio. And we generally look at new car, used car, used commercial vehicles, new commercial vehicles, etc., but with a little more emphasis on the used vehicle sector. In the used vehicle sector, we haven't seen much impact because of this recession, but certainly the offtake which was there would have come down by about 10-15% rather than projected. So the projected offtake of vehicle finance, which should be in the region of about 70 to 80 crores a month, has come down to about 55 to 60 crores. That's because generally there is a recession in the auto finance sector. It's a young portfolio, just 15 months old, working only in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh.
So one last question, aside of earnings and the flood situation, gold prices are soaring very high. What is the impact that it is having on your business?
The gold price, as the gold price increases, the first thing which happens is the existing collateral value of my existing gold loans get better and better. That is the first advantage. Second is in a rising gold price, the borrowers, if they want, they can get little more money. But again, the question is if they want more money. So if they want more money based on the day's ruling gold price, for the new loans, they can get more money. But again, we are also a little cautious in maybe lending on the high gold rate, because we have a 30-month moving average rate on which the price is fixed. So although the price goes up every day, our lending rate also does not go up every day. It is based on a 30-month. That's our risk management techniques which we do. But to answer your question properly, if the customer wants on new loans, they can lend little more because of the higher gold price. So some people come and avail it, some people may not avail that. Certainly it is definitely good for us because the collateral security goes up on the existing loan also.
All right, Mr. Muthoot, thank you so much for joining us and helping us understand Q1 earnings and the impact of the flood situation on your books. And with that, I wrap up this interview. Thank you so much for watching.